Hi everybody, happy Monday. Here it is June 15th, Monday at about 1:30, and it's time for our Facebook Live. I'm gonna show you a couple promotions Stampin' Up! Has going on, and then we'll move on to our card. So the first promotion is if you do a workshop, or I guess if you get an order up to $250, you get an additional $25 of hostess benefits. Then you can take your hostess benefits and put them toward the starter kit, right? And with the starter kit from June 3rd to June 30th, you get a free tool bundle. So that means any punch bundle or die bundle. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you can look in the catalog, and the bundles are on page 147, I believe, for the, nope, must not be. 167, sorry, for the punch bundles, and then the die bundles start on page 174. So any of those two bundles you can pick is free when you get the starter kit, which is a $125 worth of products. They throw in a paper pumpkin kit, they throw in some catalogs and business supplies, all for $99 in tax, and shipping of course is free. So that's quite the deal for the month of June. And of course, there's no long-term commitment. You can try it out, see if it's for you. You get a great discount, la-di-da, yada, yada. So, Paper Pumpkin, you have to sign up before June, is that right? Sorry, July. Yeah, because this is June. Before July 10th, and you'll get the Summer Nights Paper Pumpkin. It looks like a pretty fun kit. And there you go. Oh, another thing is they have an add-on, so you can get an additional 25 card bases and envelopes for $10. Those will go on sale July 1st. Hopefully I'll get those and I can show you what those look like, because they're while supplies last, and who knows how fast the supplies will come and go. Last thing on my advertisements, well, is Rose Hill Stamp Camp. I love this stamp camp. Now they're doing cards to go, so it's 10 different demonstrators, and we'll either mail you or you can pick up your card kits, 10 of them for $30. It's a pretty good deal, and I'll show you my card for this month at Rose Hill. Looks like this. They're nice cards. When I get my cards from last month, I'll have to show you what they look like. But if you want more information on that, Kathy Hansen is who runs it, and I can give you her information if you just send me a message. Or you could ask to join the Rose Hill Stamp Camp group here on Facebook, and there's lots of information in there. So the classes I have this month are the Stamp a Greeting class. It's 6 cards and a little keepsake box. It's on Zoom. It's June 27th, I believe. That is Saturday at 1 o'clock. If you're not interested in a golf card like this, the other side of the Designer Series paper is plaid, so it would look like that. If you need more information, be sure and visit my blog, which is www.becreativewithkathy.com, and all the information for this class is on my blog, and all you would need is a black ink pad and a sentiment stamp set, and I suggest the Mini Mates. Mini Mates is a really good stamp for that class. But like I said, all the information is on my blog, and that's becreativewithkathy.com. The other class I have this month is my Mountain Air class. It looks like this. Right? I'm going to do the one during the day at 11 o'clock at my home, and then in the evening I'll have it on Zoom too. So there again, you can go to my blog, which is www.becreativewithkathy.com, and all the information for this class is on there. Or you could message me and I'll tell you more about it. Now, one of the cards in this class is this card right here, and this is what we're going to be doing today, because I need a Father's Day card. So that's what it is. But before I jump ahead of myself, in June, if you go to my online store, place an order of $50 or more before shipping and tax, use this hostess code. I'll throw your name into a drawing for the Wild Rose dies, and the Tool Wild Rose stamp set. And that you have to get your order in before June 28th, because then June 29th on Facebook Live, I'll be drawing the names. So that's enough talking, right? That was a lot of talking. Let's get to making a card. I'm hoping that today I can show you a new product from the catalog and some maybe new techniques. So, I don't know, hang out, we'll see what happens. Let's start with our first, let me get a piece of scratch paper here. Our first part is going to be on a piece of Whisper White. This is 3 3/4 by 5. And like I said, I'm going to use the Mountain Air stamp set. So I'm going to start with the mountains. And now this stamp set is reversible. So sometimes the mountain stamps this. I'm going to call this the image side and this the other side, I guess. So we're going to start with the image side. So I'm going to stamp image side up. And I'm going to, whoo, did you see that? Threw my ink pad clean across the table. I'm going to start with some soft suede ink. And I like to ink these up this way. I think it's easier with the big stamps to ink it up this way. I was going to say table side down. There's not even a term. I'm not very good at stuff like that. But I'm going to place my mountains a little bit higher than the center and just put those down. And where is my foam mat when I'm using my photopolymer? I really need to be using my Stampin' Pierce mat. So let's see if I can, cheat and do it that way. So there's my image. Ooh, and I'm really happy with my image. I'm going to put this here. We need the foam mat when we're working with these stamps. Next thing I'm going to bring in is the tree line, and I'm going to use it like this one here. So image side up. Let me put this away. And I'm going to use Garden Green. Oh, I should tell you too that this card, I was looking on Pinterest, and her name is LeeAnn Greff. LeeAnn Greff. I think that was her name of the card that gave me the inspiration. I changed it up a little bit, but thanks, LeeAnn. Although I don't think LeeAnn will ever see my video. You never know. But she was the one that gave me the idea. Okay, so I'm going to place my tree line right below my mountains there. Ta-da! Now I'm going to ink up my stamp again. And then I'm going to stamp it off lightly. And then I'm going to turn it upside down and put it down so I guess it's the grass is the same and the trees are below. Now the reason that I inked it up and stamped it off on a piece of paper, because I'll show you on this card. See this line right here? If you don't have your card, see these parts here are not inked, they'll show here. So that's why I go ahead and stamp off on the piece of paper and start again. And I hope that makes sense. Now, I don't even know if you would have noticed this line here on my card or not. It probably doesn't bother me, but if I'm gonna teach you how to do stuff, I should teach you the right way. And so that's what I'm doing. Next we're going to bring in some sponges. So I take Stampin' Up's round sponge, I cut it into quarters, I put a little topper here, and I'm going to bring in some Balmy Blue. I almost called it Bashful Blue. Boy, that was a kickback there. Bashful Blue was a long time ago. But I'm going to kind of pounce here and then just ink up my sky, because I live in Colorado, and in Colorado our sky is not stark white, it's pretty blue. So we're going to make our sky here blue, and I'm going a little bit on the mountains. I'm not very careful. I'm going to just ink it up about so it looks like that. Then I'm going to turn around and do the same thing here to the water. Now we're going to add more color to the water, but I want to get a little base down, I guess you'd say, and then we'll darken it up later with some Pacific Point. But for now, just a little bit. And you notice I pounce over here, so you get that pouncing look, and here it looks a little bit smoother. So that's why I start here and then I go to the card base. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so now it looks like that. Looks pretty good. We're gonna put this away. And I'm gonna bring back in this mountain stamp. Now I'm going to bring my chamois in because we're going to clean it. Ooh, I don't like that noise, but at least I know it's squeaky clean now, right? And then we're going to turn it over. Oh, and don't look, this is why right here, this is why you wear dark pants. You wipe that on your pants and then it's gone. Shh, don't tell anybody. So I'm going to put the image side here up and lay it on my block. So now it's going to stamp with this image here on our cardstock. And I'm going to ink that up. Maybe. Yep, I am. With Pacific Point. And you can see that's really dark. So I'm going to take and stamp it off one time. Then bring my card in here and turn it upside down. And then I'm going to stamp it so it's just above that tree line, if that makes sense here. And put that into my water. And just hold it there, let the ink sink in, and then it looks like that. Now, if you notice, look how low this one is. It's never going to be the same each time, but I think it's going to look just fine the way it is. So then I'm going to bring in another sponge. This one has Pacific Point on it. I'm going to ink it up and dab it off, and I'm going to just blend those mountains now into my water. So it looks like the reflection. I hope you see what I'm seeing. Really, when you're making the card the first time, it just looks like a big blue mess. But then it starts to come together and looks pretty nice. A little bit more blue here and blend those colors all nice together. So now we have the mountain reflections in the water here. Okay. So now I want to put my sentiment here, and the ink is not dry. I'm sure that it's, I'm going to bring this back in, a little bit sticky. And now, we used to sell an item called the Embossing Buddy, and I'll be doggone if I can find my Embossing Buddy. So I'm going to show you a product that I use instead, and this is baby powder, or AKA cornstarch. And if you take a little bit of cornstarch on your card here, whoop, or a lot, right, and just rub it around here. It's not going to hurt anything. They make it smell good though, just as fresh as a baby's bottom. I'm going to dump that into the trash, wipe off the extra. Now this will be the same. Now we know for sure it's dry. It's not going to stick to our embossing powder. Well, our embossing powder is not going to stick to it, because I'm going to bring in this Wish for Everything stamp set, because it has a really nice Father's Day sentiment. It says, let me see if I can find it, "The real heroes of the world are fathers like you." And find a block here. But now that I put that in the baby powder down, the embossing powder is only going to stick where I have my Versamark ink. So I'm going to ink up my stamp here. I got rid of my foam mat because this is a red rubber stamp and doesn't need that extra cushion. I'm probably going to stick my head in the camera so I can get it straight. And if you're like me and you're not perfect, when you put your stickers on, they might not be perfect. So when I line up, because I want it to be straight, a red rubber stamp, I'm going to look at the rubber and not my sticker. That's just a helpful tip. Well, hopefully it's helpful. Stamp that down there. And pick it up. Now, of course, I can't see that, but when we go and put the white embossing powder on there, there you go. And see, now that white embossing powder has only stuck where the ink is thanks to the baby powder. So take the baby powder away from the babies and put it in your stamp room. I'm bringing in my heat tool here, and real quick I'm going to just melt that embossing powder onto my cardstock. And you can see it's done melting when it turns shiny. with good light. There we go. I was like, I don't see it, but now I see it. Once it starts to melt, you can see the difference. See if my father's maybe a little bit on the back there. There we go. Now look how nice that is. Isn't that pretty? Okay, so then we just take some Seal It, Stampin' Up's new adhesive along the back, not too much pressure, doesn't take much. I have a piece of Pacific Point, tried to say that in the middle of a video, cardstock, which is 5 by 4 1/4. It just makes a nice base. Then my card base is soft suede, and it of course is a 1/2 sheet of cardstock, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. A little bit of adhesive on the back here. Our new adhesive is so smooth. I absolutely love it. I think it's the greatest stuff ever. Well, except I have a lot of greatest stuff ever, so maybe I shouldn't say that anymore. But there you go. So there's a really cute and totally mailable. It's got dimension, but yet it doesn't pop up or anything. So let's look at the inside of the card. My inside of the card looks like this. And we're gonna do something kind of like that, but I think I have improved it just a little bit. So we're gonna bring in our Pierce mat again. Here's our inside of our card, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4. No, I've already mounted these over here. Bring in that garden green ink pad again. I'm gonna ink this, I guess it's like a little double tree up, stamp it off one time. Oh, someone might have ink on their fingers. Let's turn that over. And then you know what, there's a little blue here that I'm gonna cover up. So hold on, I'm not happy. I'm gonna ink him up again, make sure I get some ink on my fingers and do the whole thing again. But stamp him about there. Pretty, right? And then I don't know about where you live, but I live in Denver, Colorado. And in Denver, Colorado, our trees don't just like hover in the air like that. So we have to have something to ground them. I'm going to use this image right here. It's the back of the clouds, and I'm going to ink it up in soft suede, stamp it off because it's really dark. I'm going to drop it on the middle of my card. I'm going to turn, let me just try again. I'm going to ink stamp it off. I'm going to stamp it right here at my tree base so my trees are like down on the ground and not floating in the air. Then the last thing, I got some little birds, these little tiny birds here in the stamp set. Ink those up in some soft suede and just add those to my card. I'm going to add those to the front of my card while I'm at it. I'm going to put a little set of birds there and a little set of birds there. Okay, so then last, this is the new product that I wanted to show you from the annual catalog. And Stampin' Up! Has brought back the adhesive sheets. And they're big, they're 12 inches by 6 inches. I don't know if you used the ones we had before, and they were kind of hard to use, but I think Stampin' Up! Has done some improvements, and let me show you what I'm talking about. So the adhesive sheets that we sell now, right, still 12 inches by 6 inches, but the backing, the release sheet, is cut into 2-inch sections. So it's 2 inches by 12, 3 times. I don't know if you can see that. I'm hoping you can see that there, right? So I have a piece of paper here that's 4 inches by 2 3/4. And now that's just what I picked. I like the 4 because I'll show you. This is what I cut this down to 2 inches. No, I think they're 2 3/4, but by the 6. And you can see the release paper is not cut, but the sticky paper is cut. And I hope that makes sense. But when you peel it back like this, can you see how I'm peeling it back? And then you lay it on your paper like this. Look how easy it is to add to your cardstock. Let me do it one more time like this. So now I have like a big Pacific Point sticker, because this can go in the trash. We're done with that. And then when you take your dies, now I want to put Happy Father's Day. So this die set's called the World Word Wishes dies, and it has the Happy Father's Day. And when you take those dies and you lay them on your Pacific Point that now has the sticker and run them through, that looks like this. So then the words have the sticker on the back. Does that make sense? I hope that does. Now I'll tell you what I'm going to try to do. Let me find my pierce tool so I can get all these little pieces out of here. I'm going to start with my father's because I want to center it and then put my happy and my day around it. But I'm going to try to keep this little, there's an apostrophe right here, and I'm going to try to keep it in my framelit, and I did, yay. See, it's right here, but I'm going to go poke the other ones out, the rest of the word out, and this is just so I can place that apostrophe where I want it. And there again, I hope this all makes sense, and maybe it's overkill, but I'm going to show you what I'm doing. So I'm going to take the sticker off the back of the father's. Oh, and it's in two pieces because of that 2-inch piece. And then place that in the center of my card. Right? Now that little parenthesis is still in there. Let me get out these other pieces so they don't stick to my card. Did I get them all out? I did. And let's see if I can get the backing off. There. So do you see it in there, that little parenthesis? And then you can just lay this down on your card where you want it, and then hold it, not there, and hopefully move it where you want it. There. But then that way, I'm going to move it up just a little bit more. That way you don't lose it. It's kind of like dotting an I. When you lose that little I, but then you just grab a little rhinestone and you can use there. Now I took all the little pieces out of this into the trash. We're going to take the back off of the happy. Maybe. Ha. It's not, there we go. It's not cooperating at all, but now it is. One more little piece over here. And lay down the happy, and then last is my day. Where did my day? Oh, their day's still stuck on the card, on the cardstock. And there you go. So now you have a really nice Happy Father's Day inside. A little bit adhesive on the back of that. Put it on the inside of your card. There you go. And now I'm all ready for Father's Day. So I hope I taught you a couple tricks. I hope you try the new adhesive sheets. I think they're great. I love them, and you'll be seeing me use them some more. So have a good day. I really appreciate you watching, and I hope you see me or come back to see me on Friday, same place, earlier in the morning, and I'll show you some ways to use the Stamparatus. Have a great day. Bye-bye.